like a heroin addict and an active junkie, it's miserable. I remember so many times either sitting behind a dumpster in the hood, or if I was in a friend's car, whatever the case may be, just literally tears just pouring down my face, just praying, God, please be the last one. I do not want to wake up from this and have to continue. That happened for months, years probably.
As right before the days where I tried to check myself into Fulton County, I had contemplated suicide a couple of times. It just takes you to a dark place mentally, where you're just completely drained and sapped of all will to live or to keep going, which is one of the scariest parts about this disease.
One thing led to another, and when the pills and the medicine got so expensive that he couldn't afford it anymore, and he began pawning things, and then he turned to heroin, as so many people do, because he couldn't afford the pills anymore. And he went to a 21-day rehab, and when he came back out, as many people do, he relapsed in the first 6 weeks, and he died.
I started calling him and calling him, and I didn't get anything back from him, so I knew he was either in jail or worse, and so I just waited, and at 3 o'clock my in-laws called me and said that they had found his body in the back seat of their car, and he overdosed on heroin. When you worry about it and you think how bad it's going to feel when if that happens, it's not even close.
I lost my sister Brittany 3 years ago to a drug overdose. She was 18 months younger than me, very close, and it was devastating to lose her. You know, after she died, I started searching for understanding or something, and I found out the numbers. And at the time, it was over 100 people per day. And I just couldn't fathom over 100 families going through the same pain that ours was going through that day, and then the next day, and then the next day. And so I knew I had to do something. It was about a year after my sister passed away that I had the idea. I was just a sleepless night. I had quite a few of them after I lost my sister, and I had this idea to walk across America. I saw the whole country at 3 miles an hour. It was beautiful. I love my sister, and I wanted everybody to know that love, because that's all I have left of her.
Well, the Davis Direction Foundation was started in 2014 after the fatal overdose death of my son. And my family got together and just decided that's not the way it should have happened, that it could have been prevented. But what we found out was that so many families have been blindsided by the heroin epidemic that we're in, and that's why the zone was started. Recovery is real, there's hope, and you can find that recovery at the zone. And to families of people who are struggling with the disease of addiction, stop long enough to educate yourself and learn about the disease. Stop chasing the child or the loved one long enough to learn what you don't know you don't know.
Georgia Overdose Prevention is it's a grassroots group of people that came together out of our own personal losses with the mission of trying to get a law passed in the state of Georgia, which was called the Good Samaritan Law at the time, and is ultimately the Georgia 911 Medical Amnesty, and expanded into naloxone law. But I'm not getting any second chances with Zach, so I hope that everybody else gets second chances.
From a homeless felon to a responsible person in society, to a father. just within a couple years. It's incredible. It's absolutely incredible that I couldn't verbalize. You know, you can get better. You can, by all means, you know, get rid of this. And you can change your life.
Words can't even explain how much better my life is. Just, you know, the simple things that I have. But more than all of that, I have inner peace and happiness, which is so valuable to me. I mean, all the other stuff, all the material stuff, you can take that, but what I have inside is priceless. There is hope for recovery. If you're struggling, you just need to reach out for help. But there is a solution, there is hope, and there is recovery if you are willing to reach out and ask for help. Nobody can